So this was something that was trending on social media a little bit earlier, and it's something I did not expect at all because I feel like the franchise has been somewhat irrelevant with the past couple of years, but we're supposed to be getting a new Naruto film sometime within the next couple of years or so, and it's supposed to be a live action movie and basically like the rumor is that it's in pre-production at Lionsgate and it's going to be directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, the same guy who worked on Spider-Man Brand New Day, which is set to come out on July 30th, so that's like in a couple of weeks. And yeah, this is something that caught a lot of people by surprise, and I feel like it's a wonderful opportunity to reintroduce this current generation to something that was popular back in the day, like specifically the 2000s. But I don't know. I always felt like Naruto was better off as an anime. I never really saw it as something that would be like really big as a live action like television series or a live action film. And I'm surprised it's going to be a film opposed to a live action TV series because you look at the manga and you look at the anime series. Like the anime series had like 9 seasons to it. Like 5 of them were like story driven and there was like 4 that was like filler. And I don't know, I feel like when it came to the Naruto anime series, one of the things that made it so memorable was the level of character development that the main characters and even some of like the side characters had. And in a film that's like 2 or 2.5 hours long, I mean, you won't be able to have like in-depth character development for characters outside of Team Seven, and I'm guessing that like with this film, they'll probably assume that people just know like Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi. People who are fans probably know their story, and they're probably not going to delve too deep into it, but I don't know. I can see Naruto getting like character development because he's the main character. But I don't know. It's like how much can you could fit into like 2 and 2.5 hours in terms of story because like I don't know. I feel like the original anime series there was like a lot to go over. There was a lot to cover like within the first couple of seasons, and it's going to be a challenge to kind of condense that into like a film format of like 2 or 2.5 hours. But I feel like they're going to definitely like touch on certain things like the tuning exams and Teen Seven, and I guess I don't know about the Sasuke retrieval arc. Um, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle that. Maybe Naruto versus Gara. Um, and honestly, like it's going to be something that it could be a hit or a miss because I feel like the way the anime pretty much told the story of like different characters from Naruto to Sasuke to I guess Gara and Rock Lee and all those other characters. It was done in a way where people understood the character and each character like meant more or they felt like they meant more than they actually did because you learned about their story and it made them unforgettable for the most part. It's like Naruto is a character that he was pretty much an orphan and he had the nine-tailed fox sealed inside him. Everybody knows his story. Then you hear about Sasuke's story, then you hear about Gaara's story, how messed up his story is, and everybody had something to them that like each character had something that at least one person could like relate to. And I feel like that's what made the anime so special. And I'm not exactly sure how you would pull that off in the film. Cause like if this was a television series or something like that, then obviously, they'll have more time to, focus on character development and tell the story in a pace that isn't rushed or anything like that. But but yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say that I'm too optimistic about this, but at the same time, I'm willing to give it a chance just to see what we're gonna get because Naruto for the most part, it's more of an anime. You look at Spider-Man. Yeah, we've had like anime adaptations of like Spider-Man or Spider-Man animes in the past, but like Spider-Man animes and Spider-Man movies are like different for the most part, like the formatting, the pacing of the stories and the tones and everything like that. Naruto for the most part is for kids and I don't know, I would say at best like Naruto could be like PG-13. And I think it was like by the time it got to like Shippuden or whatever, but I don't know, like a live action movie, like what would the rating be? Would you make it like PG? Would you make it PG-13? If you do a film that's like anywhere between 2 to 3 hours, what do you touch on? What do you leave out? Those are all things that directors and the writers have to focus on. And the thing is, I think they're still like doing they're doing something where they're still trying to figure out who the casts are going to be because like they're searching for like cast members for Team Seven. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. So yeah, it shows you right there how far they are in terms of like development. But I do feel like this whole thing is rather interesting. Um, I don't think we're gonna get it like anytime like next year or even the year after. I'll probably say like we'll probably get this by like 2030 at the latest. At least I'm hoping that's the case because um I don't know, like if you just focus on like the first two seasons or whatever, first three, it's something that's doable in terms of like storytelling within like 2 to 3 hours. And and yeah, I honestly feel like it'd be better off if it was broken down. Like if they did like multi movies, like did multiple movies. You do one movie, and if that's a success, you move on to the next film and the next film, and eventually, get into Shippuden. But I'm not exactly sure if that's like the long term plan or anything like that. But yeah, a Naruto live action movie was something else that was now on my bingo card. But we'll see how this plays out.